What is going on, y'all? Welcome to my August 2021 manga haul. So this one wound up being a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought last month was big, but then it turned out that this month is also just as big, if not a little bit larger, which was surprising. Anyway, so we've got a lot of stuff to talk about here, and just like I broke down the previous month, I'm going to show new releases first, and then I'll go into some of the older things that I picked up throughout the month of August. Now keep in mind that my previous video, if you saw that one, it was huge because there was 2 months worth of material at once, but also because July is my birthday month, and I did mention that some of that was going to carry over into August from things that I had purchased that had not yet arrived by the time I made my video at the beginning of August from my previous 2 months hauls. As well, I do often sell things like comics, movies, video games, whatever, to get a little bit of extra cash when there's something else that I'd like to purchase, and I definitely did that several times throughout the month of August, so I could afford some of the things that you see here. Next month, my September video should be more of the standard amount of stuff that I buy in a given month, but if it's not, it's because, once again, I'm selling some stuff to be able to afford extra. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump on in and start looking at some of the new releases that I purchased throughout August. Now, there's a lot of Shonen Jump stuff as always, and at the top of my stack are 2 final volumes. First, we have The Promised Neverland Volume 20. This was a series that I really loved, and I thought the ending was decent. It had a decent ending, but it did seem like it jumped into its conclusion a little bit quickly compared to what I would have preferred. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It worked well for me. I loved the characters. I loved the journey that they went on. And I know there's a little bit of extra material after this that I just haven't read yet. On the other hand, the final volume of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, I loved the way that Demon Slayer concluded. I thought that it was a very well done conclusion to this series. And it's great. I really, really enjoyed Demon Slayer. It's a simple shonen action series. I think it does everything it needs to do, and it does it well. Then we've got Volume 26 of Black Clover, another shonen series, which I think is really great. I know it does get a lot of hate from some people, but there's a reason why it's lasted so long in the magazine. Speaking of series that last long in the magazine, and I'm jumping all over the place with these releases, but One Piece Volume 97. In Japan, the series is just now celebrating the release of its 100th volume, and we're not too far behind. The Wano arc has been really fantastic, a lot of action, a lot of big revelations for the series. And Oda has said that the series is in its final phase. So if I was to make a guess myself, I would say it probably has about 200 to 250 more chapters left. It'll probably be done around 120 to 125 volumes, which means we need to savor every bit of material that we have left with One Piece. I'm excited to see it going into this final phase and to see all the revelations come out of what's the truth behind everything, basically. It's a series I've been following since 2003. It's grown with me and I've grown with it, and I am excited to see how Oda brings it all together. Now, a much newer series, we have Mashle, Magic and Muscles, Volume 2. I love Mashle. It is, in my opinion, the best of the younger group of series in the Shonen Jump magazine. If you haven't started reading it yet, I highly recommend it. The artwork is fantastic. The comedy is on point. The action sequences are great. I really love this series. It's like the perfect mixture of One Punch Man and Black Clover and Harry Potter into this new thing that is just fantastic. Highly recommended. If you haven't picked it up yet, definitely do so. And then we've got Dr. Stone Volume 18, another series that I really enjoy. I love how the Shonen Jump magazine right now is not just plain old shonen fighting manga. There are different series that have all kinds of different genres and styles to them. Because Dr. Stone, for instance, is very different from something like My Hero Academia, another fantastic series that I really enjoy. And then we have Dragon Ball Super. I have actually sung the praises of the Super manga for a while, specifically since it got into the Moro arc, and I believe that this volume is getting us close to the conclusion of the Moro arc, as pretty soon it's going to head into the Oatmeal story. that's running right now in the series. If you haven't tried the Dragon Ball Super manga, I recommend it if you're a Dragon Ball fan. You get more material out of it after the point that the anime had ended. And also, in my opinion, it does the material from the anime better because it wraps it up a lot quicker without spending, 80 episodes on a tournament that's supposed to last 40-something minutes. And then we've got Boruto Volume 12. I believe soon is when Kishimoto takes over writing the series. I'm not reading it monthly, so I haven't read the stuff when Kishimoto comes back. It's a fun series. If you're a fan of Naruto, it's definitely one that I would say read it if you did grow up loving Naruto like I did, reading it back in the early to mid and late 2000s into when it ended. So it's a good time. It's not nearly as good as its predecessor, but whatever. It's still fun to read. And then one that I was super excited about is the first hardcover of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Golden Wind. I am a huge JoJo fan, as many people already know about this channel, and me on this channel rather. So getting the first volume of Volume 5 is very exciting, and it's just a very fun part of the series. I'm very excited to have it physically in English for the first time. Now I do have Volume 45, the final volume of Haikyuu, and Volume 6 of Chainsaw Man. Both of those are delayed in getting to me, so they'll just appear on the next video probably. They'll likely get here at the end of the month. And then I'm too lazy to go grab it, but Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 11 is downstairs in my bedroom right now, so because I was reading that last night. So with that, we'll move over to the non-Shonen Jump Viz books. First, we have Komi Can't Communicate. This is volume 14, I believe. Yes, volume 14 of Komi. This one's anime is coming pretty soon, and I really love this series and highly recommend it. It is just a great, wholesome, slice-of-life type of comedy series. I hope the anime is successful because I want to see more people enjoying that series just like I am. Then we've got Zom 100 Volume 3. This is the hilarious zombie series I really love. I did a review on the first volume if you want to go back in my channel a few months to when that came out. I had a great time with it, and I still love the series. I think it's hilarious. It's very well done. It is by the same writer as Alice in Borderland, which is getting its English release sometime in the near future, I think early 2022. And then we've got Volume 3 of Naoki Urasawa's newest series, Asadora. This one is also fantastic, as you would expect from Naoki Urasawa. It's really fun to see one of his series as it's unfolding, because everything else I've read of his, I read it like long after it was concluded, so that's really fun. And another favorite of mine, we've got Golden Kamui. This is Volume 23. And this one was also announced to be heading into its final arc. So this one I would imagine is probably going to end sometime within 2022, which is really exciting. I love this series and I cannot wait to see how it's all brought together. Then we've got Volume 11 of Urusei Yatsura. This is 11 out of 17 of Rumiko Takahashi's classic comedy series. This one's a lot of fun if you're a fan of Ranma 1/2 or Inuyasha. This is Takahashi's earlier work. A lot of fun. I'm really happy that Viz is releasing these, and that said, we've got 6 more volumes before it's done. And then we've got Pokemon Adventures Volume 9. This collects Volumes 25, 26, and 27. Volume 10 will be the final release of this line of collector's editions, collecting Volumes 28 and 29. And that's going to wrap up the whole, leaf green, fire red, emerald era. So we're only going through the first 3 generations with these collector's editions. There's no news yet if they're going to go into Gen 4 and beyond with the collector's editions volumes. I would love to see it happen, but who knows? We'll see. And then the last of my Viz Media books, and that is the 14th Full Metal Edition hardcover of Full Metal Alchemist. I love these Full Metal Edition hardcovers. I love the reproduction of the art here, and we get some nice colored artwork as well in some of these volumes. I love the covers highlighting individual characters in each volume. It's a fantastic set. This one's going to be 18 volumes long. I think I've said 17 in the past, but it's actually 18, and I cannot wait to have those last 4 volumes. Now we've got a few more new releases here from other publishers. At the top of the stack, we've got a few from Kodansha. First, we've got Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle Volume 7. So that's the currently ongoing Battle Angel Alita series. I believe that one's supposed to be wrapping up soon as well, and it's meant to, if I'm not mistaken, meant to be the final part of Battle Angel. And then another one of my favorite ongoing series is To Your Eternity, and we have another Volume 14 here. I think this is like the third or fourth, 14th volume in this video. This, in the last volume, started like the second stage of the story, so we're in a completely different like era of this story now. So I would recommend picking it up, reading through the first 12 volumes, I believe, and you get pretty much one big cohesive story, and then you can take your time getting into the following stuff is basically what I'm trying to get at. And we got one hardcover from Kodansha, and that is Saint Young Men Volume 6. This collects the original Japanese volumes 11 and 12. These are 2-in-1 hardcovers. Even though they're pretty thin, this is a 2-in-1 content. This is a great slice of life comedy series about Jesus and the Buddha as roommates in Japan. It's hilarious, it's heartwarming, it's just fun and relaxing to read. And then we've got Volume 2 of Die Dark by Q Hayashida, the creator of one of my favorite series, one of my favorite concluded series, Dorohedoro. This one was delayed in getting to me, should have been in my last month video, but it didn't get here until like this past week, so a little bit of a delay there. And we've got Volume 7 of High Score Girl. This is 7 of 10 from Square Enix, so this is wrapping up pretty soon as well, just a few more volumes. This is another really fun kind of slice of life series. I really recommend it, especially if you were playing games, specifically fighting games back in the early 90s, stuff like Street Fighter and all those things. This is a really fun series, very recommended. And then the biggest of the new releases, Blade of the Immortal, Volume 3 of the hardcover. I've been really enjoying, I've been reading this series for the first time, actually. I did have the paperback omnibus editions before they started doing these, and I decided to go ahead and upgrade to these and just read it as each volume came out for the first time, and I am really enjoying it. It is a lot of fun. The artwork looks great on these oversized pages. If you're questioning whether or not you should buy these oversized volumes from Dark Horse, I'm going to say without a doubt, do it. There are a few more volumes that are in transit that should be coming in the next week or two as far as new releases go. The fourth 3-in-1 omnibus of Shaman King, Junji Ito's Censor hardcover, Berserk hardcover Volume 8, Cells at Work Volume 6, and I believe that's it. I think those are all the books that I'm waiting on right now. So those will all appear in the next video, but I wanted to mention them because I know people in the comments like to be like, what about this? Did you not buy this? Did you not buy that? No, I bought it. It just hasn't come in yet. So that's all the new releases. Now let's get into the rest of it, because there was a lot of other stuff that I bought this month. So first I'm going to start off with the easy stuff. I got 2 box sets. I believe both of these I ordered towards the end of July, so I've had them here since early-ish August, one of them being Bakuman. If you watched my video about Takeshi Obata's entire career as a manga artist, you'll see that I showed these volumes. I just have the box here right now because I pulled so much stuff off of the shelves for this video, I didn't want to pull another 20 volumes, so I thought I'd just show that I did get that box set. Like I said, check out that other video, the Takeshi Obata artist video. I do go in detail through every single work of Obata's, not just the ones that have been released in English, but all the stuff that's not in English yet. So check that out. And the second box set that I grabbed was Rosario Vampire, Seasons 1 and Season 2. So this series, actually along with a lot of the series that I'm talking about in this video, is one that I bought when it first came out. I bought the entirety of Season 1 and then the first like 3 or 4 volumes of Season 2. And then I sold a lot of stuff all at the same time, just because I needed to clear up some space, I needed some extra cash, whatever. And this, unfortunately, was one of the series that went during that time. And so I finally was able to repurchase it, and I decided to grab the box set just to make things easy. And I'm excited. I'm excited to return to it and reread the part that I had already read and then read through the rest of it that I haven't read yet, so I can see how this story concludes. Also, fun fact, I bought this from a viewer of the channel. So if you're watching this video, thank you so much for sending this to me and for giving me a great deal on this box set. It really helped out in my rounding out my Shonen Jump manga collection. All right, and from Viz under the signature line, I got one more volume of Terraformers. If you've been watching my channel and watching my haul videos, you know that pretty much every month I'll add one volume of Terraformers to one of my orders. Usually that's how I get something to hit free shipping, is just throwing a volume of Terraformers in. And very slowly but surely I'm getting all of them at 15 out of like 22 now. And then I also, these are older, and I know that the 4th volume is out now, but it wasn't available when I ordered them. But volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Blue Period. These were previously out of print, or not out of print, but out of stock for a little while. And when I saw that they were back in stock, I decided to go ahead and spring for them and grab them, because I've heard mostly completely good things about this series. There is one friend of mine that read the 1st volume and absolutely did not dig it at all. And so that's kind of why I was put off and waited to read the series as long as I did. But so many other friends and so many other people that I've seen talking about the series have been talking about how great it is. So I decided, you know what? I was an art student in college. I feel like this is something that I would enjoy reading, so I went ahead and grabbed the first 3 volumes. And hopefully the 4th volume winds up being available again pretty soon for me to order with my next order on Right Stuff, but we'll see what happens. All right, now the rest of this haul is all stuff from Shonen Jump, so I'm going to go through each series in alphabetical order. And the first one is, just like with Rosario Vampire, another series that I'm reacquiring, and that is Gintama. And you may have seen in the recent video that I put up about the discontinued Shonen Jump titles that I had a couple volumes of Gintama there. And I did decide recently that I wanted to repurchase this series and add it back into my collection. I really loved reading this series back when it was first coming out, and I was so disappointed whenever Viz decided to discontinue it. But I am hoping against all odds that maybe it'll come back one day, and who knows, maybe me making the videos that I have will give some little bitty piece of a nudge to have Viz go back and reprint it. Now, here with me today, I don't have every volume of the series. I've been piecemealing it together, and I have all but I think 5 volumes on hand right now, or 6 volumes on hand. I didn't bother to count. But I do have, I'm gonna say most, if not all, of the rest of the volumes will be in next month's haul video, as I do already have a few of them in transit. This one's been a lot of fun to repurchase and add back into my collection. The covers are a lot of fun. I love all the characters in this series. Again, I really hope that one day we can get more of this series printed, because ending at volume 23 was such a sad moment back in like 2011. All right, and this next one is another one that I reacquired, and again, one that you would have seen in that discontinued manga video if you watched that one, and that's Kurohime. And this one was another that just got discontinued before it was able to be completed in English, unfortunately. This one only got 14 volumes released, and I did purchase this one when it was coming out. I had a great time with it. It's not the greatest manga in the world, but it's a pretty decent action series about a witch who basically fights the gods and loses, and they split her into 2 personalities, and she's trying to put her personalities back together using the power of love, as the series would so have it. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a decent series. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but if you decide to read Kurohime, if you're into pretty standard action stuff, you'll probably have a good time. So this one ended in Japan with 18 volumes, meaning that we were only 4 volumes away from getting the entire thing in English. And I don't think that there's any chance that we're going to get those last volumes released in English, but one can dream. So this next series is actually the first manga that I ever dropped, and that is Legends. Now, I picked this up because it's only 4 volumes long. It's available like on eBay for very cheap. I think I got all 4 for like the price of 2, basically. And I wanted to go back to this series, and this was an idea for a video, basically going back to the first manga that I ever dropped and seeing, is it as bad as I remember it being? Did it grow on me? Is it any better than I thought it was? I have a feeling that I'm not going to enjoy the rest of the series, but I think it's going to be a fun little project for me to revisit the first manga that I ever thought was bad enough that I didn't want to continue reading past the first volume, because I usually give something 2 to 3 volumes before I decide whether or not I want to keep going, and on this one I was like, yeah, I can't go past volume 1. So we'll see how I feel about it. Let's see, we got a few spin-off manga here. So I decided to grab the My Hero Academia Team Up Missions spin-off series. So this one looks pretty fun. And then also the My Hero Academia Smash series. And this is basically like 4-koma, just comedy stuff relating to the My Hero Academia universe. And there are only 5 volumes. It is completely released in English. So if you want something, like if you're a fan of this series and you want something lighthearted to kind of give you something to read between volumes, that might be a good one to go for. Speaking of spin-offs, we got another one that I kind of just felt like maybe I should add this to my collection because I already have all of Naruto and Boruto, and that is the Chibi Sasuke Sharingan Legend. As the title suggests, the characters are all chibi versions of themselves, and it's just a comedic series. I'm actually kind of looking forward to reading this one. I haven't gotten the chance to sit down and read it yet, but I haven't read, like, I've been reading Boruto, but I haven't read Naruto in a while, so it's going to be fun to return to these characters in this format. And it also makes me feel like I should go ahead and complete the collection by grabbing the light novels, which I've never been a light novel collector before, but I don't know, it feels like if I'm going to have this little 3-volume series, then I should also buy those. And that's also kind of why I decided to go ahead and grab it, is just like, it's 3 volumes. It is what it is. It's not anything substantial. Here's another shorter series, and this is one that I'd actually never read before whenever it first came out, and that is Pretty Face. This one, I remember it coming out. I just never picked it up. But I was able to find a set of all 6 volumes for a really nice price. When I say a really nice price, I mean below cover price, essentially. Which is great because this is a series where at least a few of the volumes have become pretty hard to find. So I was very happy to be able to find the entire series for a price that I was happy with. This next one is a big one, and one that I've been wanting to add to my collection for a while because I've heard a lot of good things, and that is Twin Star Exorcist. Now, I've had a lot of people recommend the series to me on here and on TikTok, and finally I went ahead and purchased the series. I have all but 7 volumes here. The other 7 are all in transit, so I should have all 7 of those in my next month video. So there's a lot of kind of like dangling pieces and leftovers and stuff that I'll have in that video that should have been here. But I'm excited. The artwork looks fantastic. I've heard great things about the series. I'm excited to add it into my collection. I really don't know much about the series at all, but I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to dig into it, and I'm sure that I'll have a great time with it. I'm sure that I'm going to enjoy the series, and I'll have to report back and talk about my thoughts on it as soon as I do finish reading it or catch up on reading it, because I know it's still ongoing. In fact, the 23rd volume just recently came out, and I have it right here. So I bought this along with my new releases and stuff for this month. So very excited to add Twin Star Exorcist to the Shonen Jump collection. And we are now on the final stack of books here, and at the top is another one that I reacquired, and that is Wak Wak. This is by Ryu Fujisaki. This is by the same creator as Hoshinengi, if you're familiar with that series. It was a fun kind of fantasy shonen series. Fujisaki has a very particular art style where he likes to draw his characters with large hands and feet, similar to like Kingdom Hearts characters. It's only a 4-volume series. I had purchased this one as well back when it first came out, and again, one of these series that I sold alongside a lot of my collection, and now I'm reacquiring it and adding it back into my collection. It's a lot of fun going back and seeing these old series that I used to have and flipping through them again, and like a lot of times I really don't remember the story because it's been over a decade, like I feel like 15 plus years since I've read this, and I'm excited. It makes me excited because it means I can revisit these books, and it's like I'm reading them again for the first time. All right, now we move towards the last couple things that I picked up. People who've watched my channel for a little while, you might know that I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. I've had the entirety of the original manga for a little while. I've made a couple of videos on here actually about the series and my feelings about Joey as a character and as a duelist. But while I've had the original manga and the Yu-Gi-Oh! R spin-off for a bit, I never picked up any of the other spin-off series. So I was really happy to finally pick up some of the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-offs, including Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which is the only spin-off anime that I actually watched part of, so I'm pretty excited to try this one out, because I actually enjoyed the ideas behind that one and enjoyed the episodes that I watched. I just never watched the entire thing. So I'm excited to check out the GX series. There's 2 volumes that I don't have here that should actually be here within the next week or so. So I'll have those in the next video. But otherwise I have the other 7. There's the last one, volume 9, and the subsequent spin-off series, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And I've never watched any of 5Ds before, but I've heard actually some pretty good things about the series, so I'm excited to check this one out as well. I'm sure that I won't have the same feelings about this one as I did about the original series, but hey, you can't win them all. But I'm excited to try it out for the first time. And then this was kind of a freebie that was thrown in with a cheap lot of other manga that I purchased on eBay. But that is Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, the anime manga. So this is basically just scenes from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie turned into a book, which is pretty cool. So, you know, that's pretty neat to have that as well to add into the collection. And that is it. That's everything that I picked up during August. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is, you know, July things that were delayed until August to get to me. And there will be a few August purchases that are going to come in late September. So I'll be showing those in the next video. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of exciting things, and I definitely have a lot of cool stuff to start reading. And with that, thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope this was an entertaining video, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.